Campus's very own Coach Laurie, and today we're going to be talking about some things that can help all the future D1 baseball players that are trying to get to the next level, if it's D1, D2, whatever the case may be. And today's title is this: the real reason why you're not being recruited to play D1 baseball. The real reason you're not getting recruited to play D1 baseball. So let's get right into it. So, all you future D1 players, let me get real with you. Let's talk straight talk. Too many of you are doing exactly the same thing as everybody else. Going to showcases, hitting with trainers, hoping that that's enough. Don't get me wrong, that's good, but it's not good enough. If you want to get exactly what D1 players have, you got to do what D1 players need to do. So, I'm going to give you 4 areas or 4 tips that can be the separator for you and other people so you can be in front of the pack. Okay, let's get right to it. Tip 1: remember this. Just remember this. Skills. Everyone is good at the next level. Just because you are an All American, just because you are All State, just because your team won everything in high school, that's a great accomplishment. But remember, we're going D1. Because at the D1 level, everyone throws hard, everyone hits bombs. Let's think about this. So, you have to figure out what's going to get you to stand out because your skills, everyone has skills. So, what is your separator? What separates you from everyone else? Okay, here's the takeaway. What's going to separate you? You, not just your tools, but how do you compete? And are you consistent when you're competing? How consistent are you? Are you reliable? Okay, so when the pressure is on you, how do you respond? That's what I'm talking about. But here's an action step that you can work on that. Okay, start tracking all your consistencies and your practices in the game. Start tracking it. You're going to have to do some due diligence if you want to get to that next level of D1. Write down how many quality at bats you've had. Write it down. Your quality at bats. That doesn't mean just because you hit a bomb, it was a quality at bat. Was your swing good? Was your weight back? Whatever the case may be. And how many times do you execute under pressure? Under pressure. Then grade yourself on reliability. Now, this is some serious homework. Now, if you said you want to get to the next level, remember today's topic, today's title. The real reason why you're not getting recruited by D1. That's the real reason. What is it? I'm giving you these. These are game changers. Build habits that make you stand out. Build habits that make you stand out. Okay? So that's an action step. All right, let's go to tip 2. All right, tip 2. Who are you? That's the question. Who are you? What do you mean, coach? Character and being genuine. Okay, now let's talk. A lot of guys put on when they see scouts or they see other people that are influential of baseball. Be who you are. Who are you? Character and being genuine. Whoever you are, be who you are. And if you don't have good character, you need to build it. Because coaches aren't just recruiting players that hit bombs or recruiting people just because they are good. They want genuine guys with character. If you're fake or flaky or lazy or a bad teammate or always about you, it doesn't matter how good you really are or how much talent you have. You have to be genuine. You have to be humble. You have to be coachable. That is the real separator. At the D1 level, if you want to go D1. But here's a takeaway with that. Ask yourself, if a coach calls your high school coach or your travel coach or teammate, what will they say about you? Ooh, does your character travel faster than your stats? What's faster, your character or your stats? Think about that now. Let's just, you want to go D1. You want to go to the pinnacle. You want to go to the top. But here's an action step you can apply. You can start applying this every day. Pick one teammate every practice or every game to lift you up. Whether that's encouraging them or building up what they're doing, their reps, BP, ground balls, give them confidence. Make yourself be a great teammate. In other words, you have to like really work on that if you're not already one. It has to be part of who you are, your identity. Make that who you are. So when you get to the D1 level, it's easy. As a man thinketh, so is he. Here's tip 3. This is another game. This is a good one. Really good. Because we got a lot of guys that they love to go to batting practice or like practice because they perform really good. And we're talking about guys that are starters. Now, I'm not talking guys that sit the bench. And if you are sitting the bench, get off the bench. We're going to get you in the game. But this is the tip. Tip 3. As I stated, there's a lot of guys that perform good in practice, but they don't perform in games. That's a mind shift. But tip 3 is this: performing in games. In other words, when the lights are on, you got to perform. When the lights are on, you got to perform. Performing in the game. Listen, if you have terrible stats and you can't perform in the game, or you do better in practice in your game, it's not going to help you. Because listen, no coach is offering you based on how you look in batting practice. No coach is offering you a scholarship or an offer based on how fast you run when you're in practice or how fast you run the 60-yard dashes. Or they're not going to do that. They're offering you that opportunity, that scholarship to be on their team or connect with their school when you perform on game time, when the lights are on, when it's all real, when they turn on the game, when the game is on. That's what they're looking at. But here's the takeaway. Stop being showcase guys only. In other words, you got guys that just go to showcases, just to go to showcases. And let's be honest, 90% of them are not even ready for a showcase. And that's for a different topic for a different day. But here's the takeaway. Stop being showcase only guys. Don't go. So, prove you can perform with pressure situations. Deliver hits when your team needs you or when the game is in hand and it's a tough play. Stay locked in when the game is on the line. That's what we're talking about. Coaches want that. But here's an action step you can choose. You can apply this as your action step. Here's one right here. Create pressure situations in practice. So, as I stated before, as a man thinketh, so is he. So if you start thinking about it and you start programming your thinking, how you're going to respond in the game at practice. So I need you to recreate pressure situations in practice. So for hitters, count how many times you can execute with 2 strikes. How many times during practice, I know everybody has batting practice, coach is throwing you or someone's throwing you batting practice, you got 15 pitches. So everything strike 2 with you. And see how many times you can execute and put the ball as a hit or execute advancing a runner. And for pitchers, I want you to start simulating bases loaded with 2 outs. Train yourself game situations, not just showcases. Just don't do that. Start programming. Start thinking. As I stated before, as a man thinketh, so is he. Here's tip 4. And this is one of the most powerful tips that I believe that can possibly make or break you. Academics matters just as much as the game. Okay, what do you mean by that, coach? You cannot play D1 baseball if you're academically ineligible. Period. Too many players think the game is just enough. But if you slack in the classroom, you're going to slack on your baseball career. And it'll be over before you even start. So you got to start thinking and acting so it becomes a habit. Don't slack on your academics. I'm telling you from prior experience, it will catch you. So if you start training yourself, just like you're in the game, you train yourself in the classroom so you can be eligible when the time comes. So here's a takeaway. As I stated before, treat your grades like it's batting practice or your batting average. Let's put it that way. It's better. Treat your grades like it's a batting average. You stay eligible. You stay prepared. You show the coach your discipline in all areas of the game or all areas of your life. At practice, teammates, classroom, but one of the top ones is academic. Because if you're not eligible, you can't play. So here's an action step. Set up a weekly study hall or schedule the same way you do for practice. A lot of guys don't want to go to study hall. A lot of guys don't want, they just want to fart around and play on their cell phone. We got time for that. You're D1 now. As a man thinketh, so is he. Again, I'm going to keep saying that. You start thinking you're a D1 player, you start acting like a D1, you start thinking like one, you start acting like one. So set up a weekly study hall the same way you do as practice. And, knock out the homework as soon as you get it, before you get to the field. Knock it out. Even if it's due a week, knock it out. Build that GPA that makes you easy for coach can say, hey, this guy is D1 ready. He's the type of guy I want because he takes his academics just as important as he does his game. So with that, those are 4 tips. The real reason why you're not getting recruited to play D1 baseball. Hey, I'm closing out with this. If you really want to be separated from the crowd or separate from what everyone else is doing and live out your D1 dream, you need to be like yourself. First of all, you need to be like people that are D1 players, like-minded people. You start doing what they're doing. Don't do what others are doing. That's why I got something special for you. If you're trying to chase that D1 dream, I've created a D1 baseball dream community for like-minded people like yourself, a place with resources, behind-the-scenes strategies, and players like you who are hungry, they want more. So if you want to get that, hey, drop me your email and your comment or DM me, and I can get that into you, get that right to you. Hey, this is YouGoin Pro podcast. I'm sorry, YouGoin Pro channel. I apologize, YouTube channel, where we help athletes develop proficiency, also where they can dominate in every area of their life. So you know what I'm going to say, and you know what you need to do. Subscribe now. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Because if you're doing the same things as everyone else, you will get left behind. This is Coach Larry. Hey, go make it happen. Hope to see you on the inside. Bye-bye.